someone like him to do what he's doing unless this is all an arrangement. It's like he'll tell her, honey, if you allow me to hang around all these young Filipinas, brings in more money. I can buy you more gifts. Oh, thank you, honey. Because I don't care what anybody says. Filipinos are amongst the most jealous people in the world. There's no question about it. But I'm going to give the guy credit because actually it's becoming a little more intense with him. Now it's more and more geared toward hanging around these young Filipinos more than any other content matter. He's playing around to see what works best for him. And everybody's buying into this. I've seen right through it. No, I don't think he's messing around with nobody. And there's Tesla. When Poops is saying he's taking a bike ride, he's on his hover around mobility scooter. What a loser. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are easy to figure out, okay? We got the guy with his harem and all that shit. I know exactly what's going on with that. I know exactly what's going on. See, the women will go along with something, okay, as long as they're being rewarded in one way or another. Again, if you can't see through this, then, you know, maybe you got cataracts in your brain. Everybody is being manipulative of their partners, wives, whatever, harem. And the denominator is always, gifts or whatever to keep them around. But maybe I have a better insight into people on here than some of you guys do, but it doesn't take much for me to figure out somebody's motive, the modus operandi. Let's see. Oh my God, Jim. Oh my God. I think the last show he did, he was drunk again. My, oh my. This guy is losing control. So we're going to go from Slim to Jim. So now we're with Jim. I think those roids have gotten to his brain. I really believe it has. No, seriously, not joking around. I think it has. I don't know. I've not done any research on steroids, really. I know a little about it, but how it can affect your behavior, your brain, and whatnot, I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But there has to be something to this. Well, it's not just that, it's his drinking, which is his real problem. So let's see. What's the update? Dexel, you don't know what to believe on here, really. And you got to really examine it. Dexel did a show the other night saying that there are people threatening her life. Now, I don't know if you buy into that or not. Now, is it her MO is to make Jim come back to the Philippines? And there's two purposes for that, to have him come back. Let's examine both of them. Well, she's working hard trying to scrap, some pesos together. Of course, when she has Jim there, he'll buy all the groceries and everything else, but that's not happening anymore. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Is she coming up with these stories about her life is being threatened by people to get Jim to come back to the Philippines as a savior? It's just a way of getting him back. That's one consideration. Or number two, is she being, or let's just say, is she trying to get him back so that he'll be arrested. Because I'm thinking that there's a possibility that she's put in reports to the barangay, and then from there to the police level. That's how it works. Go to the barangay, go to the police level, and any other level she wants to go to. Now, I don't think she has money to get a lawyer on him or anything like that, but through a local level, I mean, she could do a few things having to do with the recordings she has of how abusive he's been, how drunk, and the fact that on camera he's been hanging. She stays overnight there too, and this adultery thing. It's all very interesting, nevertheless. And I really don't know who's the real culprit, his wife or him. Maybe they both are. I don't know. I mean, Jim, obviously, with his belligerence, especially when he's drinking, and we've seen examples of how he talks to her and treats her. Okay, we got that side. Now, her side, I don't know a lot about her side. I don't know if you're going to listen to Jim. She's like a she devil or something. I haven't seen that part of her. I haven't seen it displayed. I don't know what she or how she treats him, but we know how he's treated her. So it's like, who do you really believe? Then people spreading rumors that Jim got caught at immigration, to be arrested. No, I don't buy any of that. Someone was spreading rumors on that. Well, there's the believability factors on here, and a lot of people are very gullible on here and will believe just about anything, but you have to examine, if you watched him for a while, it raises question marks as to who of the two, him or his wife, is really the cause of the problems. Snappy Tom is back. Stinky Pinky wants to knuckle up with Jim. Sticky Pinky has a problem with Jim? Hmm. Well, that's another guy. Boy, we're on a roll this morning here. You got to be loving this, Popeye. I give you something, worth waiting for before you hit the sheets with your dog. That guy. Totally unbelievable. Tesla says, Poop says bro and dude constantly. He's an out of touch boomer loser. Well, that goes without saying. But yeah, the guy you're talking about, Sticky Pinky, I don't know where he comes up with that name anyway. There's something really weird about that guy. He's talking about he has businesses in America, owns a trucking company. But I caught him on his show complaining about he can't afford the prices of food in America. See, you got to listen. You got to be attentive to these guys. You got to pick up on some of the things they talk about. Now, he's got this chick in the Philippines that is pregnant. She's going to have his baby. And we've heard double talk with him about that situation. Part of him is trying to contemplate whether he is going to bail out on this situation and have to take responsibility to the kid, because I don't think he really has any money. But then he'll talk highly at times of his kind of pseudo girlfriend, whatever she is. And he'll have these big speeches about how Filipinos will manipulate you to get your money and everything else. So, in other words, a lot of these YouTubers are just fucking full of shit. They're trying to hide what their real life is like. JJ Lonely Bull also gave Ricky Drama a spray. Bueno Cano. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Popeye's probably a little disappointed because I came on a little bit later than usual. I didn't mean to mess up your schedule, Robert, but here I am. So now you feel better. So yeah, when I say we got characters on YouTube, we got characters on YouTube. So far we're talking about Slim, who is pro-life traveler. Okay, talk about Sticky Pinky, and we're talking about who's the other gentleman? Not gentleman. Let's see the main characters here. Well, Jim. Oh, yeah, pro-life, Slim. So we're talking about Jim and Slim. Jim and Slim, right? Yeah. And Sticky Pinky. Sticky Pinky. JJ was saying that Ricky sweats profusely. Ricky does sweat profusely. I've met him. And the last time I've ever seen him in person, that was actually in SNR. He was even admitted it. Man, I'm sweating like he was pouring sweat. His t-shirt was soaked. He carries a rag around him to wipe the sweat off his hair. And that's from being obese and having high blood pressure and diabetes and all that shit. I mean, it all adds up. You're going to sweat profusely. And what you have to do for that is you got to constantly, not constantly, but you got to really drink a lot of good, stuff with electrolytes in it. Oh yeah, he sweats profusely. There's no doubt about that. So who's the biggest con on here these days? Is it Slim from Pro Life? Is it Jim from Jim's Gasian Adventures? Then we got newbies coming in like Sticky Pinky, who's lying through his teeth. And I know he's lying because you got to catch these guys off guard. You got to listen to what they say, and then they'll say something totally opposite of what they said maybe a week ago or 2 days ago, whatever. I don't understand why people. I have an understanding, but not completely. But why people have to kind of present themselves larger than the life that they're actually living, and they have to profusely lie about things like, oh, they own all these businesses and so forth, and a trucking business and other companies, and a guy just, if Sticky Pinky even just said he just sold his, what did he have? Was it a Lexus or some shit like that? He just sold his, I think it was a Lexus. He's trying to get rid of a lot of his material. He's trying to get pressure off his back and his responsibilities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not buying this shit. Jim is, he looks like he's been rode hard. I mean, that's the best way of describing it. I always say he's 54 going on 68, you know. Shit, I'm 71 and I look a hell of a lot better than fucking Jim at 54. Fuck yeah. I'll credit myself with that. Well, I gotta understand, you've been drinking all your life. It takes its toll on your appearance, your skin, and everything. It just, um, it destroys you. And then on top of that, look at all the chemicals he's taking. I mean, as far as the roids go, the steroids, they're going to do a number on you and your heart eventually. I think he's a ticking time bomb ready to go off, not only for his health, but I think the guy is just losing his mind. The steroids is affecting his brain. Old Lexus saying he left the Matrix. Yeah. And Jim continues on what he's doing right now. There's some serious shit going on because he's going to lose it one day. He has a very violent nature about himself when he's drinking and when he's roiding it up, pounding his fists and all that stuff. And he's going to kick the shit out of this person and that person and that person. Is he capable of hurting somebody? I think he is if he's, because he gets, he gets belligerent when he gets drunk. Like Popeye, I remember part of RRR, when he was drinking, he was fighting with Gary, the Philippines Experience at the time, years ago. Popeye was losing it. You ever hear Popeye actually expressing emotion? He has an emotionless voice, but when he's drinking and he gets pissed off, I remember him fighting with, and not just Gary, some other people too. He didn't get along with everybody in Triple R at the Hate Show. There was always something going on. But I've seen Popeye when he actually gets mad. It takes a lot to get him really mad. But he has to be drinking, just like Jim, to actually show it, We got a really big shoe this morning. Really big shoe. Got all the boys in the comment section here. Welcome, boys. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I mean, it's fun just watching people lie and see how far it'll go with it and how they can manipulate. I mean, everybody's manipulative on here. Come on, look at Philly in the Philippines with his clickbait and the shit he does on there. He's successful. He's making money. I don't know how many thousand he's making a month. I'm sure he's got to be making a minimum $3,000 a month, minimum. And fucking A, on top of whatever he gets from his prison guard pension or whatever the hell he got. I think he's on a disability or something myself. He's not all there. But they're doing good. God bless them. They're doing good. So I guess it pays to be drama. It pays to lie, and it pays to, put these little girlies on screen and hang around with them, even though you're married and blah, 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 blah. Hey, it works for them. So you want to do a show, now you know all the elements. I'll tell you what, if you put all the elements together, you're going to do fine, just fine, having your own YouTube show. You'll be rolling in the bucks, baby. Remember, there's so many desperate fucks out there that would love to get together with a Filipina. And they watch these shows intently. And the creators, the YouTubers who put these shows on, they know what it takes to get these people to view their shows. Half these guys, they got their underwear down to their ankles when they're watching shows that have Filipinas on there. And this is not figuratively. I really think this is literally. They know what they're doing. I got to give them credit for that. They may be some dumb shits in some ways, but they know how to get an audience. They start seeing their numbers going up and they say, well, how did I get my numbers up? What's going on with my show to do that? Then they say, oh, ever since I started bringing these young Filipinos into the, pro-life, God, I can almost swear the guy is Vitali. God, I swear, he even looks like Vitali. Sounds like Vitali. Manipulative like Vitali. Creating drama like Vitali. I mean, we got a reborn Vitali on here, man. Accent and all. $45 in the chat. Whose chat? I don't have 45 people here. I got 14. Oh, you mean Popeye's simulcast? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Well, we got to give the guy something to talk about here. Cherry, cherry lady. Cherry, cherry lady. Oh, I'm glad to be a help for him. I mean, Popeye needs to get his attention somehow. Have you ever heard Popeye not sound like you know, having that crab mentality. Have you ever heard him say anything positive about anybody on YouTube? Nevertheless, me. I'm trying to recall. I don't remember much of that. Benny the Bear Newton says this Popeye fella sounds quite. He is very nasty. He's an older dude living in Florida on a house that was, pretty much handed down to him from his mother who died of alcoholism, and he kind of picked up the cards on that one. He drinks his gin and smokes his filterless Camels every day. He has not been to the Philippines in 45 years since he's been at Subic Bay, and all he talks about, sir, is his Navy career in the Navy, which really didn't add up to shit. And he's also a false valor type of guy, which all the people in the service should be really pissed off with him. He's pretty much tried to make people believe that he saw action. The only action he's seen was a round table with his Navy buddies in Subic Bay and a whore that he wound up marrying later on that gave him blowjobs. He was talking about that for years. He goes after everyone. He needs pushback. Just YouTube, poops. He still talks about it. He's living in the past, which is part of his problem. He needs to live his life, his contemporary life today, not 45 years in the past. And he ruined a marriage, he beat up his wife in a drunken stupor, and she left him, and now she's with a black gentleman. She's very happy. They have their own business, and she's not taking more abuse about him. He, on the other hand, has been all these years without a woman, and it's been a couple of decades or something. I don't know how long it is that they've been divorced. But he's kind of living at home, got his daughter living there, I guess, and a grandkid, I think. We all seen his house. We all know his address. We could walk up to his door. Everybody knows his address. And if you don't, just talk to me. He old is the fellow Popeye, must be pushing 70. Hey, I'm 71. I'll tell you what, from the last photographs I've ever seen of the guy, I'm just slightly older than him, but I look incredibly younger than Popeye from the pictures I've seen. Tesla says he hasn't been to the Philippines since a man landed on the moon. A great one. But he's an expert on the Philippines. Yeah. Hate to tell you, poops, but, Philippines is going through a lot of changes since you've been there. Yeah. Well, the infrastructure is still the same, poops, but, it's been a long time since you've been there. Is this a fellow Popeye who bashed a wife? Well, he did bash his wife, yeah, but there's a lot of guys on here that, like Jim, which is Jim's Asian Adventures, or Asian Adventures with Jim, who's married, but he's on a little trip to Cambodia, and his wife in the Philippines has adultery charges on him and has abuse charges, and he won't go back to the Philippines. There's so many characters that are similar in some ways, but yeah. Oh yeah, Popeye abused his wife absolutely in his drunken stupor. I don't know. I guess he couldn't get it up anymore. That also pissed her off. She needed a real man, or whatever it took. Good morning, my sunflower. Where are you? I hear in the kitchen. There you are. Yeah.
Hi.
Good morning.
No.
No, you're like, oh.
Okay.
Where's my morning kiss? Yeah, I was up earlier, dear, but then I went back to sleep, and yeah, I went back to sleep. I'm pissed off Popeye though, because I got up a little later than normal when I do my morning show, and he prepares everything, his videos and editing and his little monologue before he goes to bed. So I did give my apologies to him because the show a little bit later than normal, you know. We don't want to hurt your feelings. Poops. Yeah, that's right. You hurt my girlfriend there, Popeye. You know what I mean? That's right. Something you will never have. You can call me every name in a book, but you live in my life. And he tries to downplay my life. But what's the downplay, really? The downplay is because somebody put a report on me? Is that the downplay? Is that the downplay? But you can't measure your life to mine. That's 100% true, Popeye. You'll never have my life. It'll never happen. You're about to fucking die. You're ugly away. You're not just dying, you're gonna ugly away. You have such an ugly heart. Such an ugly facade. If that's your whole life is simulcasting another YouTuber's show, then man, there's a lot to say about that. And I have. And I have something to say about it. I always do. I remember some wife left the old man. Yeah, that would be Popeye. Yeah. She left him for some black dude. Have you guys ever heard Popeye talk about anything positive about anybody else? This is because the guy is so absolutely miserable in his own skin. He's bitter. He's got that crab mentality. And I keep on telling him, man, you know, see a doctor, maybe correct the problem down there or something so you can get laid. I guarantee you're going to have a different attitude once you get laid after, like, you know, fucking 2 decades or something now. Snappy says, well, it's not like Popeye has a girl to wake up next every morning. Yes, he does. He's got a bitch. He's got his little foo-foo dog. And he puts peanut butter on his dick so he has the dog lick it off. That's what I heard. I can't verify that, but that's what I heard. That's the only action he's going to get is his dog, Foo-Foo. Foo-Foo, come here, Foo-Foo. Peanut butter time. Oh, more. Whoa, watch it now. Those are my nuts. There you go. Copyright strike, it's a legal process. Let me tell you something. Copyrights, they can get you on. But you know what? Complaints to YouTube, not going to happen. It's rare. You can put all the reports you want to get. Believe me, I know. You can put, and it worked for me a few times. It actually has. I got Popeye off one time. Well, not literally, figuratively. Well, my voice gets him off, you know. So maybe it is literally because, you know, my golden voice, he loves it. He loves it. God, he loves it. I didn't mean to, Popeye. I didn't mean to have the golden voice of YouTube. It's not my fault. But I think it goes both ways. But you want to know something? You know how he always talks bad about my girlfriend and all that? Do you know why? Well, obviously, one thing, he'll never have anybody. You all see what she looked like. She's a good-looking gal for 50 years old. Not 53, Popeye. She's 50. And she's still holding out pretty damn good as far as I'm concerned. She's not a bad-looking woman. She's actually very attractive. No, I don't want to run for these little fucking 18-year-olds and shit. What's the purpose of it? If you want to just fuck around, get your rocks off, say, yeah, I was able to have sex with a girl that's like, you know, 45, 50 years younger than me. That's a notch on my belt. No, it's not a notch on anybody's belt. Robbing a cradle like that. Don't get me wrong. There's a 20-year difference between me and my girlfriend. 20 years, but it's not like she's like, you know, 25 years old. She's 50 and looking good for 52. Popeye, I think, is attracted to her. I know he talks a lot of shit about her all the time. He'll label her this, about she has that she has a lot of kids, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's new with that in the Philippines? I thought you knew so much about the Philippines, Popeye. School today?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a regular thing now.
No.
Did they fix up the school from the damage or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, be careful driving that thing, okay? All right, have a good day.
Bye, sweetheart. Please keep up the good work. Popeye, sweetheart. Please keep up the good work.
The original Popeye, the Sailor Man. Oh. I know I shouldn't even use that name, Popeye. Why? Because he was in the fucking Navy? We all know about his career in the Navy. He had a better career in the Parks Department than he did in the Navy. When was the last time Poppy mentioned that he was going somewhere or going to visit someone? Never. I've never heard it. I've never heard it. Do you see him out with his camera in the street? Do you see him on his mobility scooter with his camera? I don't remember anything like that. He might have had something on there, but I've never seen it. Okay, remember that, you know. Oh, let me see. I forgot to buy green tea, so I have to use ginger now. Not my dog, Ginger, but yeah, I'm out of cheese, so I just put ginger in there now. Yeah. Damn. Well, ginger's good too. Let's see. Here we go. Come on, Ginger, get out of here. Let me tell you something about these bottles. There isn't a bottle I bought of any kind of seasoning that doesn't, from the humidity, I mean, it's hard to store anything here. Let's get the turmeric out here. You think I'm just playing around this morning? No, I'm not playing. I don't play around. Okay. And there's the turmeric. God bless turmeric, you know. God bless turmeric. Okay, where's the black pepper? And if you don't know, figured out by now that the black pepper, piperin, which is actually a name for black pepper, synergizes the turmeric. And I'm going to add a little something different this morning that I don't.
I drink Popeye's Buster, a nut tea. I drink Popeye's Buster, a nut tea.
Oh, yeah, baby. All right, anything else you want to add to this puppy? I got to stir this puppy up.
This is Stella Virgin of Flying Circus News, arriving on Bantayan Island. We are in Bantayan Island in front of the residence of quirky YouTuber Stank for an interview.
That's me. Back in my day, we didn't have fancy microphones.
Stank, can you tell everyone your story?
My name is Stank. My family hates me. I ran away from America because I owe money. I have a judgment of $60,000 against me in America. I sang a mushroom song to a kid. I harassed a family. I'm a creep. I remember climbing a tree to peek in a window. Hey! They took me to court. I lost. Then I ran away to the Philippines.
Tell us about the wheelchair girl and your money scams.
I don't want to talk about the wheelchair girl and my money scams. I remember asking a young girl where her bedroom was, then wonder why people got mad. Karma! I will outlive everyone in genre. It's my faith. I take so much Xanax and such. I'm high all day.
Tell us about the claims about your poor hygiene.
I smell a crap and pee. I need a wash between my toes. I smell so disgusting. My married paid companion will not kiss me on the mouth. I'm a racist. I call Puerto Ricans and wounded veterans nasty names. Ain't I a sweet guy? I get so mad I call for Filipinas disgusting names on YouTube, then deny it. I sent a man's wife email, which caused them to divorce. I showed my bare butt on a live stream. Another live stream, I whacked off. I'm so old I smell like pee. I mostly stay in the house. Abandoned my daughter. Called her names on YouTube. Left my brother alone to die. I never called him. I don't leave the house because I will shit my pants. I found a married Filipina with 8 kids and bought her a house. I do dishes and wash the Zumba guy stains out of her underwear. I have no friends. I just rage on YouTube all day. I'm lonely. I filed charges against the guy for saying the same things I say about people. It's all true. It's all over. I'm just an ATM. I drink Popeye's Buster, a nut tea.
Popeye, sweetheart, please keep up the good work.
He just doesn't seem happy. Look, I could have situations going on in my life or whatever. I still laugh, I sing, I dance, I'm happy. I joke around, I could be funny. Because life goes on no matter what's going on in your life. It goes on because it has to. You can't sit there and do a woe is me type of shit. But I've never heard a genuine laugh from him. I never hear him being happy. You go on my show, there's not one show I do on here. I'm not singing the lyric. Well, I'm a one-liner, obviously. I'm proud of that. I'm always singing on my show. Do I sound like an unhappy person to my viewers? Honestly, give me some feedback on that. Do I sound like an unhappy person to any of you guys out there? I'd like to hear your opinion. When have you ever heard me on here? Like being unhappy or singing a tune or something that I just heard that's in my mind or something. That says a lot about a person. It means that they're happy with themselves, unlike Robert Clausen, who's just a bag of misery. A bag of misery. Is Poop eye-bound to a mobility scooter because he's obese or disabled? No, disabled. Oh, he's probably got a little tummy going there, but no, I don't think that's the reason for the mobility scooter. No. Don't believe so. Bueno Cano says, you have a good woman. Who does Poop Eye have? What? He's got his daughter and his foo-foo dog. I guess it's got to be something, right? He's just a lonely old man.
Attention Flying Circus and Popeye showed me. The stank would rage and break things. I love the Attention Flying Circus and Popeye showed me. The stank would rage and break things.
False valor thing. And I distinctly remember a lot of things, but I distinctly remember one show. It was about 6 months ago, I think it was. I can't be exact on there. Where he was having this somber moment. You don't know. And his voice went to a lower tone. You don't know what I've seen. You wouldn't want to know. Like he was in a foxhole somewhere. He was never out where the action was. Never. He was never in combat. He was never in battle. He was never in the fucking field. Never. Oh, so he gets off recasting your show. Got it. Yeah, you caught on. There you go. This guy sounds like John McAfee. Who, me or Popeye? No, but I think any of you guys that are veterans out there, you should be pissed off at this guy, really. Nobody wants to put up with false valor. Popeye did not see any action in the service. He saw no action other than him and his fellow security guards beating up on some drunks. That's all they did. They carried the gun, which made him feel like a real man, if that's how you feel like a real man. Showed us empowerment. Hey, I got the gun here. If you do anything at the base, I can shoot your ass. Hello, Mr. Somebody. 22 watching. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. I'm not complaining. Cherry, cherry lady. See what I mean? It just comes out. It just comes out. I mean, who's living a miserable life, me or Popeye? It's a night and day comparison, Song comes to my head. I'm a songbird, man. That shows if you're happy. Because if you're depressed and you're living a miserable life, trust me, you're not going to be singing on your YouTube show. That's how you know. So compare me to Popeye. Well, so much different ways. We're so different from each other, But in Popeye's situation, he's just crabby. He's bitter. He's miserable. He's depressed. He's alone. He's desperate. Snappy Tom says, Frank, these clowns on Popeye's Live are laughing at him. They're not laughing. Well, I've said that all the time. Of course they're laughing at him because they know Popeye. It's the same old rhetoric every time he comes on and does a show or does a simulcast with me. They know what to expect. And to reinforce his position against me, what he does is he'll take some old videos that he's shown like 100 times before. Anything that anybody ever said bad about me, he'll pull out the video. Edited videos, you name it. Oh, Frank is this. And then he just blatantly calls me a pedophile. But you know why he does that? Because he figures he can get away with that. You saw what happened to Barry Jordan, right? Where's he now? Popeye wouldn't come into this country, not even for a visit, because he knows if I knew he was in, I don't care where he turns up in the Philippines, I will get on that plane, I will get on that bus, whatever the fuck it takes. I'll meet up with him. He won't know I'm there. But he said some cruel things about my girlfriend. He said some horrible things about me. Just like Barry, he called me a pedophile numerous times. You want to fuck around with that word pedophile? You shouldn't even say it once. But tell you what, I could be generous. You could do that out of anger and call me anything you want. But if it comes repetitive after a while, I take action one way or the other, like I did with Barry Jordan, getting close to 3 years, being still locked up. But Popeye's such a coward, and I know he is, because he got into some skirmishes with people in the past on YouTube. And there was a Rain Man, I think it was, that was coming to his house. And when he found out that, because everybody knows where Popeye lives, and he was off for 6 months after that. 6 months, count, 6 months. Add 3 more years, it's enough time to have a fucking baby. And that happened more than once. When people were after Popeye, he knows that people don't like him. And they listen to him because they want to get a good laugh, just like on Fazio's show. They know the guy's a washed up, never been old sailor that never saw action. And like I said, people should be pissed. If you're a veteran and if you were out in the field and you really served your country in action, you should be pissed off at this guy. Yeah. These clowns are probably like a laughing. Yeah. Okay. Your cup of coffee. You want to go near the window?
Yeah.
You like the little coffee table there? Yeah. We got to stop opening that front door. We're getting too many flies in here. Yeah. The fly. Snappy Tom says Popeye doesn't have the balls to knuckle up at Frank. No, he does it with anybody, not just me. I'm not just an example. There's nobody he's gonna put all that bullshit talk to and get away with it, you know, in real life. First of all, he loves the fact that we're talking about him because he feels significant right now. So far, when I talked about it, he was a total fucking loser. No, he runs away from shit. When somebody says they're going to be in the Florida area, then he goes silent. And we know this because we've been watching Popeye a long time. Most of you have. You know his MO. You know what he's like. The talk is all like he's a tough man and all that shit. No, he's a tough man with a gun if he really owned one. Yeah. Oh, he's threatening. He says, yeah, you come to my house, I got something I'm going to greet you with. But wait a minute, don't you a tough guy, Poppy? A tough guy, a tough military guy. You mean you have to take out a gun? Even I wouldn't do that. Even I wouldn't say that. A simple baseball bat or a golf club would suffice for me. Don't need a gun to take care of somebody like you. I don't even need a tool to take care of somebody like you. Frank, ditch the tea bags. They contain plastics that leach into the broom. At 71, I'm not worried about it. In other words, don't eat anything anymore that doesn't have preservatives in it. You know, 80% of the food you eat have fucking preservatives in it. I'm not worried about the preservatives. Maybe it'll preserve me a little longer. I'm very familiar. It's better to use tea leaves rather than use these bags. I understand. I know all about that. You would imagine that I would. There's not a tea bag in here. There's no tea bag in here. There is no green tea this morning. I gotta go buy more. This is ginger tea. Put ginger powder. I put turmeric in there, black pepper, lemon. That's all this contains. No tea bag. Mark Kelly, the Phil sure has a lot of ants sometimes. It sure does. Liberty Taker, yeah. No, I know about the tea bag, the plastics. I know that. Papa has a new girlfriend, Flying Circus. Oh, he loves Flying Circus. I'm pretty sure they probably talk on the phone or on Skype, but they don't have Skype. What do they have anymore now? I don't. What the hell they replace it with? I enjoyed my Skype. What's the deal with that? I don't know why they took it down. Fuck. That was important too, but there's other applications you could use. No, his girlfriend is his foo-foo dog, not Flying Circus. Oh my God, God forbid his dog passes away with old age or something, or gets a disease from licking Popeye's fucking penis. You talk about lonely he is now. If that dog goes on him, holy shit. I think he'll take that weapon that he claims he owns and put it to his temple and end it all. And he'll just be doing us all a fucking favor. Everything has a beginning, my friends. Everything has an end, my friends. Just like Fazio with his reign of terror pretty much did it to himself. And that's the beauty of it. He did it to himself. Sepsis, he didn't want to take care of it. No, distilled water is not going to kill sepsis. It goes in your blood system. My God. I even tried to warn him so many times what he needs to do. That when infection is that bad, he needs some hyperbaric treatment. Oh, I know. I don't know what I'm talking about. That was like a real. It would have been a real last effort. First of all, he'd have to be on a broad spectrum, very strong regimen of broad spectrum antibiotics, which he wasn't, and hyperbaric treatment. And if you don't know what that is, like little chamber, whatever. They might have smaller units for like your extremities or something, I don't know, where you're getting intense oxygen therapy. It's forced into your cells and everything else, and it'll kill bacteria and stuff. He didn't do any of that shit. Now he's dead. You know, these people that get, Ed Lippitt, rest his soul, right? He was a troll. But, he drank, he was obese, and it's like this. I guess he had diabetes. You don't take care of yourself. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, you found, what do you got? What is it?
Honey and
Oh, it's a mango. Thai mango tea. Now there you go. Dip that thing, baby. Oh, we got a mango. We found a mango tea here. On top of all this, isn't that interesting? Look at that. Gilda came up with this. And cherry lady. Do. I don't know why that one always sticks to my, because he's still active singing. The gentleman who sings that song, and he's good. Got a great personality, and he's got a few tunes in there that are pretty good. But his most famous one is Cherry Lady. Huh? What the hell you got here? Look at all these bags of tea. But they're pretty old, though, aren't they?
No, this one is new.
Look at these bags of tea. I can't put everything in here. I can't, I can't.
You can use this one is.
But what kind of tea is this? It doesn't even say. What is it?
Look at inside.
Okay, this bag. I look at these tea bags, and what does it say on here? It just says tea. Tea. Oh, this looks like hibiscus.
Yeah.
Oh,
This one is,
let's add hibiscus to this. I don't think the water's hot enough. We're going to also add oh my God, talk about a tea. We're going to add hibiscus tea to this. Very good, healthy. Here's the mesh bags that what's his name's talking about. We're adding hibiscus to this brew. Oh, look at that. Look at the stuff I got in my tea. No Purple Heart for Popeye, not even close.
This one is we got
What is it? It doesn't say what kind. I don't know. If I don't know what it
this
is.
flower money. I don't know.
Well, where'd you get them all from?
Yeah.
Huh?
My daughter.
Oh, when she went overseas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Her daughter would bring back all these exotic teas and stuff over here.
The big bag.
Yeah.
And then the.
Look at this. Okay. Okay. Otherwise, these are what? Coffee or what kind of shit is that?
This one yellow tea from.
Oh, this is Tetley. Well, I know Tetley tea. That's an American brand. Tetley. But, the thing you got to check for, Gilda, is that sometimes if it gets moldy, you definitely don't want to drink that. These things are pretty old. A lot of these things you might want to put them in your plants with water, organic. You might need to retire them. Look at that. They even got hibiscus in here. Look at that. Gentlemen, look. Look. What do you drink in the morning, Popeye? Your gin and tonic? And a Camel? Speaking of smokes, I'm going to let this thing cool off, and I'm going to have myself a smoke. Popeye, is that okay with you, man? Is that okay? Popeye likes me to smoke. He figured, instant death. No, man, I don't drink like you because I don't drink, and I'm not like, dying in fucking misery from all the bitterness and things that you could have done with your life and couldn't do it, but you joined the Parks Department. Well, we got something in common there. Believe it or not, me and Popeye actually have something in common. We both joined the Parks Department. But he claims I was picking up condoms. Actually, I was never picking up condoms. And if there was, I left it to the next person on their shift. Popeye, if you want to know the truth. No, my job wasn't just pressure washing the outdoor restrooms. No, Popeye, I wore a lot of hats. But the one hat I never wore was a MAGA hat, Popeye. The now shameful MAGA hat, which was a symbol of the Republican Party these days, a MAGA hat, which is now an embarrassment. Sooner or later, you're going to have to take Trump out in a white jacket. I don't know who'll need it first, Trump or Popeye. I'm not sure.
This is Stella Virgin.
I drink Popeye's Busta, a nut tea,
institutions, man. You're gonna have plenty of company. You're gonna have bitter crab mentality people like you there. They'll be complaining about their bursitis or, what they could have done with their life but didn't do it. And they wound up in the Pox department. All losers join the Pox department, right, Popeye? But if that's the case, then you must be a loser too, because you worked for the Pox department, Popeye, the Pox department. As you say it, Pox. But someday you're going to get a heart attack the way you're going with all this misery, self-pity. You could have been a contender, right, Popeye? You could have been a contender, but you're not. Popeye says, I've never done anything. I've done more of my life than that motherfucker did. What, because I wasn't in the service? Oh, that's right. He also labels me as a draft dodger. How is that even possible, Popeye? How is that even possible? You know so much about the military. Induction, They're not going to take somebody who's half deaf in the military. No, I didn't go to school, Popeye. I didn't go to college to avoid the draft, Popeye. Because the truth is, even if I was drafted, I'd be living in Vancouver. I'd be living in Vancouver. I don't believe in the cause. And for those who actually served, the veterans out there, we're going to give them kudos for those who actually served during that 10, 20 years, whatever the skirmish has been going on, and actually saw action, and they know what a foxhole is. They know what a foxhole, half covered in water, that they'd have to sit there overnight and get horrible rashes on their groin that went through getting maimed, blown up, and really served their country, unlike you, in that respect. I know, we all need pencil pushers and all that shit. They all serve their purpose. But you never saw action, Popeye, and stop pretending that you did. That is shameful. But there's the truth. Nobody dodged the draft. But if it came down to it actually going to take me in, I would have been there. And you ask anybody, I would say the majority of people who served in Vietnam, they all came out with the same conclusion. And while they were there, they said, what the fuck am I doing here? In Vietnam, 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? They didn't really know what they were fighting for, Popeye. They didn't know. They didn't know what they were fighting for, except the government says, go. Go, young man, go. Kill those families, wives, children. They shot at everything. Did you know that they were ordered in Vietnam? And, they had a tough time with the Viet Cong. But they were ordered to kill even the children. And why they did that, there was a reason, but doesn't mean it was true all the time. And a lot of innocent kids died. A lot of innocent kids were raped. That's why we had this big influx of Amerasians that came after the Vietnam skirmish, because they were fucking everything in sight, and they were killing everything in sight. They would kill the kids because they always figured they had a bomb on them. And sometimes that was true. That was true. It killed innocent kids that they thought had a bomb. You know how they used to tell Papa, you don't even know this. Whether or not a child was a danger, and you don't even know this. And I never served in it, and I know this. A little clue. Most children were used as farmhands in the fields, and they had calloused hands, like yours, for jerking off all the time because you ain't got a woman. We're killing it today. We're killing it today, folks. Well, the kids, this is a small fact that Popeye's not even aware of. He wouldn't know because he was never in the field. If those kids had smooth hands, They weren't usually regarded as a danger. Because the way it worked is that they even worked the kids too. They worked in the farm fields. Now, if the kids didn't have calluses on their hands, then they had something to worry about. Now, how did I know? How did you know if they had? I don't know how they figured they had calluses or not. If they were that close to a kid to know that, or maybe some binoculars or something, I don't know, but I know that as a fact. As I said, I didn't serve there, but I knew a guy very, very well. He was a colonel. He was basically recon. He wrote 2 books regarding his Vietnam career. He talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. He had nothing to lie about. And my brother, unfortunately, he had the book. I never got a hold of it. I should have took that before I left. Last time I was in Hawaii, I should have took the book because it'd be some really interesting reading, and I would have shared it with my audience. I'd go chapter by chapter. I would do shows sharing it. Let's just put it this way. It was a war, if you want to call it that. America did not win. They bailed out. In part, for example, I'll give you an example, the Viet Cong. They were clever as clever can be. What'd they make? What do you call them? Fungi sticks with the bamboo. They were getting Americans and allies left and right with that. They were all getting impaled. They were really just ruthless people. But they were, fighting for their own cause to protect themselves. Does that mean the Viet Cong people were really bad people? Well, in some respect they were. In some respect they weren't. They had families too, wives and children, just like the Americans and allies did. But it's either, press the trigger or get killed yourself. If you were in a close encounter, you had to do something right. They had families. Some were probably nice people too. But they weren't nice, and neither was the Americans. And I'll be fair about this. The torture, especially the Viet Cong, what they did to Americans. Most prisoners that they took, they never kept them as long as you might see on the movies. There were some prisoners that were kept there for years. But most of the time with the Viet Cong anyway, it's like, I don't know anything about this war. I do know a little about it. They more likely would kill him rather than keep him as a prisoner. They would prefer. Not in any pleasant ways. I'm talking torture. It was an ugly skirmish. But America walked out on that. They didn't have a choice. Too many troops were being killed. People being sent home maimed or in caskets, is because, in part, in that Vietnam War, they knew their territory. They knew their jungle. It was a nasty place to be with mud, torrential rains. And Popeye, unlike you, these people were in the fields for great lengths of time. And sometimes, like I said earlier, foxholes, something you don't know anything about. They had to immerse themselves in these foxholes that were filling with water from the torrential rains. They developed rashes that were so bad that is in this guy's book. He said, it felt better to walk around with these rashes than to sit in that spot and let the infection fester. There you go. Right, Popeye? There you go. So unless you can give us a valid story of your valor in the Navy, then shut the fuck up. Don't insult people in the service that you're so proud of being in. When you didn't do shit, you didn't do squat. Ooh, that's a potent cup of tea here. You didn't do diddly, squiddly shit.
But you got to push it all the time, right? All the things I've seen. That was about 6 months ago, I think it was. I don't know if you guys remember this one. He became somber all of a sudden. Guys, you don't know until you've been there. Don't know what? You trying to imply that you were one of these guys in the foxholes, that you were in front lines? The only front line you ever been in was a fucking bar that was giving out fucking blowjobs. You're probably in front of the line with that. Or at your famous round table with the whore that you married, that you got the blowjob from, who then wind up divorcing you. Imagine being divorced by a whore. I mean, that's got to be the biggest insult. Oh, we're having a gay old time today. We're killing it today. We're killing it this morning. Of course, when Popeye does his soliloquy, you don't like when I say that. You're going to hear a lot more bullshit. He's going to try to defend himself, but he never does a good job of it, though. Do you know why, Poops? Because people see through you. You're transparent as fucking cellophane, man. You're transparent as a window pane, a sheet of glass. Fuck the valor shit, man. It's not right. Now, I wasn't in the military and all that shit, but if I was, and I had to listen to somebody like you with all your false valor, your Navy tales, it's like fish tales. Your Navy tales, I would be pissed if I was a veteran. I mean, I would be steaming mad to listen to your bullshit stories about all your fucking valor. He was a fucking security guard for most of the time. Him and his buddy was standing near the gates with their guns on hand, looking very ominous, like, don't fuck with me. I got a gun. But I understand what those guys did. They used to beat the shit out of the, he wouldn't do that normally by hand. He had a gun, right? Which is like a special badge, like, don't fuck with me. Not his hands, nothing. He had a gun. Had a gun. And they'd beat the shit out of the drunks. That's what they did. A lot of security guards. They beat the shit out of the drunks, helpless people. You were late. We had a big show this morning. Really big shoe. Tremendous shoe. We talking about everything this morning. But Popeye, we're kind of ending off on all the failures of Popeye. His false valor and everything. I don't know how long you've been listening, but it's been a really big shoe this morning. Yes, it has. You're missing out on all the fun. And yes, of course, Popeye is simulcasting me again. Yeah, he did that too, but he did some security guard, and he did cooking too. I didn't mention that, but you're right, he did. The only action that guy seen was stirring the pot. So that's why he comes on YouTube, to stir the pot. That's as much action as that guy's seen. Stirring the pot. But don't get me wrong. It's a service. It's a service. In all fairness, I could be fair. He served the purpose. He was a cook. He was a security guard. He served the purpose. But he's never seen any action. And that's what just kind of gets veterans all pissed off on him. Did you hear that Sneeko bought a flooded scooter? Well, I know, I haven't been listening to him much, but I know he did buy, 65,000 pesos or something? And what happened with that? I didn't hear the rest of the story. I know he bought a scooter. And what happened to it? This thing was involved in a flood, and somebody sold it. He goes, yeah, it's a damn good, I heard that part. It's a damn good price. These things sell for like 180,000 pesos. Got it for like, I don't know, 65 or 80. Yeah. So is it a loss he's taking, or what is it? What's happening with the bike? I haven't seen the rest of it. I have not really been paying too much attention to his show because I find it so fucking boring. So what's with the bike now? Is it usable, or is it now cost the money to replace crap on there? Where did that leave off on there? Comma happens in all kinds of ways. Comma. Okay, he bought a 2025 ADV 160 for $80,000. No way. So you're saying that was too low of a price? Well, remember, you get too much of a bargain, it ain't a bargain. There's something wrong with it, right? Someone just wanted to off that scooter to him and run away, knowing that it had problems, and they were willing to sell it at a reasonable price. Sucker born every minute. He's one of them. Yeah, they go for 160 new. Yeah. So he got a lemon. Speaking of lemon, he got a lemon. The boy got a lemon. Sneeko. Come on, Sneeko. Come on. See? They're not that smart. All these people in here, they're really not that smart, are they? So their lives are so fucked up. Their lives are like totally out of control.
Flying Circus News, arriving on Bantayan Island. We are in Bantayan Island in front of the residence of quirky YouTuber Stank for an interview.
That's me. Back in my day, we didn't have fancy microphones.
Stank, can you tell everyone your story?
My name is Stank. My family hates me. I ran away from America because I owe money. I have a judgment of $60,000 against me in America. I sang a mushroom song to a kid. I harassed a family. I'm a creep. I remember climbing a tree to peek in a window. Hey! They took me to court. I lost. Then I ran away to the Philippines.
Tell us about the wheelchair girl and your money scams.
I don't want to talk about the wheelchair girl and my money scams. I remember asking a young girl where her bedroom was, then wonder why people got mad. Karma! I will outlive everyone in the genre. It's my faith. I take so much Xanax and such. I'm high all day.
Tell us about the claims about your poor hygiene.
I smell a crap and pee. I need a wash between my toes. I smell so disgusting. My married paid companion will not kiss me on the mouth. I'm a racist. I call Puerto Ricans and wounded veterans nasty names. Ain't I a sweet guy? I get so mad I call for Filipinas disgusting names on YouTube, then deny it. I sent a man's wife email, which caused them to divorce. I showed my bare butt on a live stream. Another live stream I whacked off. I'm so old I smell like pee. I mostly stay in the house. Abandoned my daughter. Called her names on YouTube. Left my brother alone to die. I never called him. I don't leave the house because I will shit my pants. I found a married Filipina with 8 kids and bought her a house. I do dishes and wash the Zumba guy's stains out of her underwear. I have no friends. I just rage on YouTube all day. I'm lonely. I filed charges against a guy for saying the same things I say about people. It's all true. It's all over. I'm just an ATM.
Love to go down on the muffin. He's talked about it a lot. Barry never practiced oral hygiene. I know it. He never seen him buying a bottle of fucking mouthwash, to kill the germs in the mouth, and his teeth were blackened, and that woman would allow him to go down on her muffin? I'd have to say, what's wrong with her? That's nasty, man. Why is that, Popeye? You have never met Sneeko. That's a direct question to you, Popeye. You could do it on your monologue. Why is it you never met Sneeko? Oh, Poppy will come back. Well, who's to say that I didn't meet Sneeko? I don't talk about my personal life. You don't have a personal life, Jack. Jack off. You don't have a personal life. You piece of shit. You scumbag. You worthless abortion. Yeah, they do. Well, it's only either a 40-minute drive or a 40-mile distance or something like that. He doesn't live that far, but yet they never met. Because I guarantee you, well, Popeye doesn't want to be on camera, and for good reasons, probably, because what he looks like. So Sneeko would never do a show with Popeye in it because Popeye would be adamant about not putting himself on camera. Snappy Tom says, Popeye never addresses the real issues. No, he doesn't. He just makes shit up. He's the issue. It's not anybody else. He's the issue. His lack of having a productive life after retirement, his lack of seeing any fucking pussy in 2 decades, and his unusual attraction to me, obsession with me. He's basically stalking me. He waits for me to put on a show and he'll do a simulcast or whatever. That's not normal human behavior. I think that says volumes about this guy. That he's got to simulcast me? Popeye, they're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you. Even the viewers say it. They're laughing at you because they find it hard to believe that someone like you exists. How bitter you are. I understand you haven't been laid in a couple of decades. I understand that you're afraid to go to the Philippines because you probably don't have the money to make the trip, although you say you got all these pensions. But the thing is, nevertheless, leaving the country, and whatever your reasons for that you don't want to go here, and I have a few that I'm pretty sure why you don't go, but where do you go anywhere locally except to the bingo hall or occasionally to the casino that you talk about? You don't talk about your friends. Yeah, like I went out with Bob the other day and we had a couple of beers. And yeah, we were talking about, whatever men talk about. And, I had lunch with Joey or an old, mate of mine from the Navy or something. He doesn't go out of his house when he vlogs. Doesn't leave the house, probably because he can't without assistance. I guarantee you, if Popeye was to go on camera, which he never will, you'd probably see a man that's probably in a fucking wheelchair or some kind of mobility device around the house. But prove us wrong, Popeye. Prove us wrong. And he'll say, I don't have to prove anything. I don't put my personal life out there. Poop, 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 poop. I just eat my can of spinach. I talk about the corn in my shit. Boy, pretty interesting life. You have to talk about the corn in your shit. Pretty sad. Too sad, too bad. Popeye makes a buck, but you'll never see him at Walmart or Trader Joe's. Well, that's exciting for him to get in his mobility scooter to go to Walmart and places like that. That's an outing. That's an outing. It is. That's an actual outing. Going shopping, that's an outing. Show it. We are daring you to go on camera, Popeye, and he'll say, I don't have to give in to anybody. I don't put my personal life on here. Well, you've pretty much told us about your personal life in one way or another, that you don't have a life. And you won't go on camera because you're going to scare people. You don't want them to see what you're looking like, this haggard old man. Fuck, I could run circles around this guy, and I'm a year or two older than him. I could run circles around this guy without even meeting him and knowing. I've seen the last photos I've ever seen of him, and that was not recent. And he looked bad then. And if he looked bad then, I can imagine what he's looking like right now. I can imagine. That's why he don't go on camera. But also because he doesn't want to be seen. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't like this motherfucker. He didn't want to walk the streets, or rather walk, no, his mobility scooter. He's afraid he's going to get run over by somebody accidentally on purpose for all his hatred and his bitterness. Well, the bottom line is, Popeye, you talk shit about my life, but you're not living my life. You don't have what I have. You never will have what I have. I bought the house cash. I didn't inherit it from my mumsy on a quit claim deed, in fact. Yeah, Robert. I bought the house in cash. Broke Frank bought the house in cash. You didn't buy your house. It was handed down to you, basically, because you'd never be able to afford it. I make pensions from this, I make pensions from that, and I got my military pension. But what do you do with the fucking money? What do you do with the money? Go get a whore or something, man. Maybe that'll knock some of that bitterness out of you. Get a fucking whore. Oh, okay, I forgot. That might not work either. Because if you just can't get it up, the old sailor's flag is just not saluting. Not saluting. But he pushes the American flag. I stand by the Republicans, the very people that are destroying the country that he loves so much. He loves his country. Well, let me tell you, Bubba, if you loved your country so much, you wouldn't be one of the guys that wears the MAGA hats. You wouldn't want Trump in office. And you'd admit to all the bullshit he's doing to the country, the lies he's telling about the country and how he's made it stronger, and people are doing better in their endeavors and jobs, and people are not, looking through scraps of food in a garbage can because he didn't want to release the SNAP benefits to them. He likes to punish people, Popeye. But the thing with you is you're punishing yourself by not going out there and getting a life. Look, you always got your fucking mouth, right? If you can't fuck the chick, if you can't do intercourse, fucking please her with your mouth, unless your mouth is so nasty. They don't want to touch you with that. They don't want to touch you with a fucking pool stick. I mean, they don't even want to. They look at you and it's like, there ain't no money in the world that this man could pay me that I'm going to fuck that old fool or please him in any way. You're ugling to death, Popeye. You're ugling to death. You're dying a slow, horrendous death, sitting in a swill of your own misery. Even the famous Aloe gave up on Popeye. Yeah, I know. Popeye visiting Las Vegas, not a chance. It's not a chance he goes anywhere. It's not he doesn't go anywhere. He'll say, well, how do you know what I do? How do you know what I do? Well, Popeye, deduction. We listen to you. You never go on camera. We've heard your bullshit lie stories, all your false valor and all your shit. Nobody's going to believe you. You fucked the pooch. Maybe literally, too. Your life is sad. It's sad. You died. Nobody's going to miss you. Maybe your son, your nearly adopted son, Snicko, might miss you. And I don't even think that because he's never even met you. You don't want to show your face to anybody. The only time he showed his face, you know what he did, folks? One time he thought he left the camera. Do you remember this? That was the more recent, the last one. He left his camera on for a matter of a few seconds or so, maybe 10 seconds. And you see what he looked like, and it was horrendous. His ears were like fucking elephant ears. If a good stiff wind came across, he'd be airbound. Maybe he should have joined the Air Force rather than the Navy. He could have acted as some kind of a fucking drone for the Navy or something. What did he say? He also said he was a gunner's mate too. He had a lot of stories. Security guard, there's cooks, there's gunner's mate, there's which one is real? Cook's probably real. Security guard, probably real. Gunner's mate, bullshit. He said, I've been in those rooms where they fire the missiles. I've seen the buttons. No, Popeye, in your classification, you would be nowhere those missile buttons at all. You were a kooky cook. They're not going to put you. The only thing you had to do with the buttons, they wouldn't even allow that, is that you were doing janitorial work on the ship and you had your little duster out. But they wouldn't even allow that. Gunner's mate. Hey, my dad was a fireman first class in the Navy. No big position. But, you know, he had no shame about it. There's no dishonor in what he did, but you just kind of over amplify the things that you've done in the Navy. That's the problem. That's the point. You can't be honest with people and tell them you were just a fucking flunky in the Navy. You get any medals? How many medals you have? Let me tell you something. I don't lie about shit. My uncle used to be very close to me. Died at 100 years old. It's been about a year now. I went on there and I showed you the guy's medals. This guy actually fought. In fact, he was living with shrapnel in his leg for all these years after the service. This guy's been to places you wouldn't believe where he served. He was a medic. And he helped save lives of a lot of people. He had about 8 different medals. This is my Uncle Tony, my father's brother. My father didn't earn any medals or nothing, but he wasn't where the action was or nothing. It was a good thing he wasn't. Because his troop, the amphibious vessel, and where was it? The shores of, I'm trying to remember what the shores of, it was on an amphibious. And he wasn't there for that. They got blown up. They all died. I wouldn't be here on YouTube entertaining you wonderful people. He got lucky on that. But my father was a fireman first class. He didn't pretend to be anything but a fireman first class. Unlike Popeye, he tries to glorify everything he did in the Navy. This Popeye fellow really needs a hobby. I'm his hobby. That's what's so sad about him. I'm his hobby. Every time I do a show, he'll do a simulcast, but he's making a fool out of himself. He's embarrassing himself. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. I'm Popeye. Popeye's a sailor man. He couldn't even get a woman looking like olive oil. That would be a step up for him. Instead, he married a fucking whore from the famous round table in Subic Bay. The one that went under the table and sucked his cock, and the other Navy pals that he sat around there getting drunk with over in Subic Bay. We heard his story, came from his mouth. Oh, he was proud to tell that story. That's the only action he's ever seen being in the service. All right, I've been on here quite a while. I got to get off here. I got to get something to eat. It's been a really big shoe this morning. Thank you. You good dialogue on here. An altogether good show this morning, and thank you very much for that. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if possible. And, we'll have some other shows. But remember, people, don't believe everything you hear. I'll give you a good example. If I was everything that somebody alleged I was or did, I'd be like on the #1 list on the CIA, FBI, NBI, for all the dastardly things I supposedly did. But you know, the other thing is, too, I don't run away like Popeye. The minute somebody puts a threat on him, he goes into silence. Run silent, run deep. Remember that movie, Popeye? I'm sure you've seen all the nautical movies, you know. Run silent and run deep. That's what he does. Out of fear, he runs silent, runs deep. Then you don't hear from him for a long time. Yeah. You're a coward. Popeye, you're a piss hole. You're a cunt. You're worthless. You're a sorrowful man. And I'm giving you a lot of benefit of calling you a man. You haven't been laid in a couple of decades. You're bitter. You got that crab mentality, we call it out here in the Philippines, baby. Your life is worthless. Don't even try to compare your life to mine. I have no complaints about my life. I got what I wanted, Popeye. You didn't. You didn't. I got the woman to prove it. And like his hate show years ago used to say, Frank, the relationship ain't going to last for 6 weeks. Well, guess what, poops? It's going on 10 years in February. What do you say about that? I know he'll say the money must be good. He calls her my rental. My rental. No, I'm not Ricky. And people like that, sorry. I'm not Nico. I'm not any of these other people on here with their harems waving that carrot in front of the women. The fat wallet routine. When I met her, she didn't know whether I had a peso to my name or not. Never asked, never cared. 10 years almost, Popeye, 10 years. And you haven't been laid in probably 15 to 20. What does that say about you? Comparing our lives. There's no comparison. I got a house that I paid for. It don't matter. Technically, whose house it really is. And it was 6 years after I met her. I didn't just run off like a simp and buy a house. I think if you could get a woman, that's the first thing you would do to keep her. No, it doesn't play into action what happened with me. 6 years till I decided to buy a house, and she didn't force me to buy a house. I seen one. I said, oh, good project. And it was great. I got it for a good price, fixed it up. It's worth more. I don't pay rent, Popeye. No rent. No rent. I don't rent her. I don't rent the house. Yeah. Yes, I did go to college and get a degree. I actually did, Popeye. You didn't even finish high school. I don't even think you got an equivalency diploma. You must have had to do that to get in the Navy, wouldn't you? No, they take any sap. I've done things you've never done. I've experienced things you've never done. And Jesus Christ, I had 120 women under my belt. 120 fucking women. What have you had? That whore that you met in Subic Bay? That's all you had. If I were to boast about it, which I'm not, I've been together intimately with 120 women throughout my life. That's actually a small number, actually, to a lot of men that are religiously single. How many women have you been with, Popeye? I've been with 120 fucking women. You got the number right. How do I know that? Well, I know that because I had a little black book with their phone numbers in there. 1 ringy-dingy, 2 ringy-dingy, 3 ringy-dingy, 4 ringy-dingy, all the way up to 100. Fucking women in my life. How many have you been with? Come on, tell us. Popeye gets triggered by Jay and Ricky because they can travel and Popeye cannot. Well, I understand, and he really must have mobility issues because he's a shut-in or something. Because when in 10 plus years have you people ever heard of Popeye going on vacation? When? I've never heard it. I've never seen it. He don't leave the house unless it's to go to the bingo hall or he goes to the occasional casino in Florida. When? I know he's afraid to go to the Philippines because he'd probably get his ass whacked over here. When does he go on vacation? Anywhere. It doesn't have to be the Philippines. It could be Canada. Nova Scotia. Even bumfuck Egypt. When does he go anywhere and do this? I don't talk about my personal life. Because you have no personal life, motherfucker. You have no fucking personal life. You are a loser. Loser. Talk about my life. You can't compare my life to yours. Loser. Loser. I know when it comes time for me to croak and leave this world, I'm going to say that I've been around the corner and back in many ways. I've seen things that you've never seen, but I've never seen anything from a foxhole, Popeye. Out and out lie with you. I've never been in a foxhole. I never claim I've been in a foxhole. I never say I was on the front lines. I've been in the front lines of life, though, when I grew up. Lived in the hood, brother. I know what street justice is, my friend. Made no claims of being in a fucking half fucking filled foxhole when all you did was a fucking cook or a security guard. Remember, you're not going to die, Papa. You're going to uggle to death. You're going to uggle to death. Make a trip. Get laid. Do.
Okay, there you go. He's wow, he's pretty angry tonight. He's pretty angry, man. I think the cortisol level is going through the roof. All right, here's the results. Let's end our poll. Oh, man. This is fucking hilarious. Just fucking hilarious. All right. Who owns the house, Gilda or Frank? 96% of viewers say Gilda. 4% say Frank. Out of 25 votes. Well, Frank, looks like you lose another one. Again, Frank, I'm not here to talk about my personal life. That's not what my channel's about. I'll give it to you again. My channel is about aggravating the living fuck out of you. Why? Because you're a pedophile. Why? Because you talk nasty about every fucking YouTuber you ever come across. And Frank, I got a little surprise for you. Here you go, Frank.
Yachts. You decide to live there now, or? Well, I know that she made a big trip. She's just traveling. She got all this money. Where'd she get all this money to do all this shit? Yeah, she was going to different places in the U.S. She got a wealthy family, or is Mick Fisher paying for it? Hey, nothing surprises me. So, is she settling down in the United States? I mean, not that I really care. Pardon me, but I am eating my salad. I'm not going to stop.
All right, there you go. There's part of it. Okay? There's part of it. I mean, this guy, what did he do? In his other show, he said Yachts and Rick Fisher sleeping in a hotel room together. He come out and said, I think Yachts is Mick Fisher's girlfriend. I mean, this guy makes a lot of assumptions. A lot of assumptions. Okay? And his behavior tonight was quite the example of how mad he gets when you simulcast him and you call him out on what comes out of his mouth. And he's pretty good at saying mean things. And I wish him well. 25 votes, 4%. Person, nice try, frail. Oh, he's really worried about this yachts thing. You notice he didn't even go near it tonight. It was just all Popeye, all Nico. And what has he got in his live chat? 3 flying monkeys and the fucking fairy. What more could you ask for, right? It only takes innuendos in the Philippines to get into trouble. That is correct. That is correct, Flying Circus. If you start implying things like Frank does, Frank is very good at implying and just skirting around the edge to say what he really wants to say. And he'll use that as plausible deniability. It would be a shame if she would complain. It would. I mean, but look at it this way. I mean, the guy's on hold departure. He's going to be thrown out sooner or later. He's stuck there in limbo on hold departure. And this is really eating him alive. Guaranteed. This is eating him alive. And I find it quite hilarious. I find it quite funny. He's imprisoned in Philippines on an island with there's really nothing to do but drink and lie on the beach. Okay? And he's stuck. He hates the heat. He gets mad at the kids in the house because they leave shit everywhere. And, Frank the yaya. That's all he is to those kids. He's a fucking yaya. Okay? He's Mrs. Doubtfire is what he is. Thanks for your vote, Frank. You proved Popeye's point. You own nothing. And you are in denial. Yep, he is in definite denial. And that just leads me to say, I feel sorry for the guy. Where he's always got to do this thing like whoever he comes up against, he's got to have some kind of a dick measuring contest with them. You know, I got more money than you. I got this. I'm better at this than you. You know, just a typical Italian wop who thinks he's great at everything. Right? But I'm glad I don't have your life, Frank. I don't have to take Xanax. I don't have panic attacks. I don't walk like a crab. I don't have to take Lexapro, Frank. I don't have to wash it down with Benadryl so I could sleep 4 or 5 hours and then get up, do 2 or 3 live streams. I'm very happy that I don't have your life. I'm very happy that Gilda's not my girlfriend, Frank. Okay. I just couldn't handle a woman that has a blown out pussy, a husband, and 8 kids. Frank, if you think I wish I had that kind of life, you definitely need to go back and see a psychiatrist and get your prescription changed to something a little stronger. I strongly suggest Thorazine. Okay. Oh man. But Frank, you're absolutely right. I'm not telling you shit about my life, where I go, what I fucking do. Because Frank, look what you did. I said I have a dog. You took a poor animal and you made up a fucking story. How fucking sad is that? Lays on the bed watching CCTV camera every day. Dude, I could not live like that, man. I mean, I mean, and then what's even funnier, the fairy's in his live chat, and the fairy came over unannounced, but he lets the fairy in his live chat. Explain that to me. I have no idea. The government should be aware of the money, so he will have to pay if here. Yeah, definitely, definitely. But you know, this is uh this is a very slow train wreck we're watching here. Uh, don't the Philippines have a special white padded cells with kind men in the white suits? I'm sure they have reserved a special just for Frank. I have no idea. I mean, I ain't been in Philippines for 40 years, so you know, it's changed. Uh, I mean, he tried hard. You could hear the vitriol in his voice tonight. It was just amazing. Make Washington public toilets again great again. Rehire Frail. uh, uh, kids are nice, but you are their slave, Frank. You exist to serve them. That's true. That's true. Very true. And Frail, I laugh when they call you Frail, man. Oh, Frank's gonna bash Popeye. Even though you retract it, Benny, I can still read it in the StreamYard. Bottomless rage. It was bottomless rage tonight, man. And first it started out him baiting me. Then he finally came right out and said what he wanted. And see, again, he proves his point. He wants me to talk about my military career. He wants me to talk about my family. He wants to get up all in my business. And dude, I'm just not going to let him do that. All right. Oh, man. I'm just not going to let him do it. I kind of think it's all fucking funny. Pinoy Lawyer is a winner too. I mean, dude, imagine what he could have done with the money that he spent on all these cases. He could have he could have done a lot more, but I don't know, man. Yeah, his hatred for formal religion and weddings is epic. And he got a couple of things wrong. Okay, Vietnam War was long before my time. While the Vietnam War was ending, I was very young. Okay, and here's what he got wrong about the Vietnam War: it was not a war. Vietnam was called a police action, and at one point they changed it to a confrontation. Okay. It was never declared by Congress as a war. Also, Korean War was never a war. It was not declared a war by Congress. The last time war was declared by Congress was the Gulf War. Okay? In 1990, Congress declared what went on in the Persian Gulf as the Gulf War. And there was two operations. It took two operations to end that war: Desert Shield and Desert Storm. His Democratic President Johnson escalated it. Dude, I don't even think he's a Democrat. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He's not an independent. He is just an out and out liberal who has TDS, trunk derangement syndrome. Okay. And dude, we rarely talk politics here. I mean, he's the one starting this politics shit. He's the one that has the TDS and is drumming all this shit up. So he's got a problem, not me. Okay. And yes, I do have a MAGA hat. It's MAGA. MAGA. Here, let me phonetically sound it out for you, Frank. MAGA. MAGA. Okay. And I have the MAGA sneakers, okay, with Trump 45 written in gold on the side of the heels. Frank's needs bad. That's why he keeps trying to pressure Big E and others to settle up for Barry. Well, dude, you can't insult the guy and say shitty things about him and his wife and his kids and expect to extract 250,000 pesos from him. For some reason, that's not going to work. Okay. I got a Trump watch. Good for you, Steve. And I will say this about my career. the 20 years I was in the military, I was apolitical. I was not a Republican. I was not a Democrat. I was not an independent. Okay. And while I was in for 20 years, most of the times I had to vote absentee ballot. Okay. And a lot of us, 99% of us, never talked about politics. We did not have time to talk about politics. Okay. And this guy knows nothing about politics, uh, geopolitical issues. The only thing he's reading is what's on MSNBC, what's on the Yahoo page, and TikTok. That's where he gets all his political news from. Right? And it's sad to see, but hey, he's got another outlet now to yell and scream about. I hate fucking Trump. He's joined the TDS chorus, okay? Trump Derangement Syndrome chorus. And I find it quite enchanting. But this is another reason why I feel sorry for this guy. I really do. I feel bad for him, man. And I can't throw, what do you call it, high school insults at him, you know, like he throws at other people and myself. I can't do that. I really genuinely feel sorry for him because he's raising that cortisone level, and sooner or later, he's gonna pop a blood vessel, and it's gonna be ugly. I got a Trump blow up doll. You know, and he doesn't understand that I don't care what your politics are. I I don't care how much you bash the president. That only makes you look like an idiot, Frank. Okay? That only makes you look very foolish, very childish, high schoolish, even junior highish kind of shit. And that's why I feel sorry for you, man. And, but, you know, take another Lexapro, take a couple of swigs of Benadryl, and everything's going to be all right. Can you imagine the crap he says all day to Gilda and the Brood, all his lies and hate? Dude, I'd hate to be in that household, man. Yes, dude, he had to cut his stream off. That's how worked up he got. It was funny. He cut his stream off in mid-sentence. He was so worked up. And dude, you raise those cortisol levels, it's not good for you, Frankie. Okay? Bottom line, Frank will get his oh yeah, he will get his deportation. It will happen. And he's using everyone and everything as a punching bag because he fucking lost. That's it. That's it. He fucking lost. But guys, I am going to watch Sunday Night Football tonight. Oops, oh, I said something about my personal life. I'm going to go watch sports. So, guys, I want to thank you all for coming in. I hope you have a great night. This is Popeye One. I'm out of here.